By the end of this video, I'm going to teach you how to get strong, aesthetic triceps that will have girls asking if they can like touch and feel your arms, and other guys asking you for advice in the gym. Literally just last night, I had a kid ask me, he came up to me and he complimented my triceps and he asked me how I built them. That kind of stuff happens all of the time. As well as girls like texting me that they want to feel my arms and shit like that. But I'm going to tell you today, word for word, exactly what I taught him so that you can have these experiences as well. My goal of this video is to basically give you my triceps, or even bigger than mine, by sharing my knowledge so that you can have those experiences. But in order to do that, you need to pay close attention and implement what I teach you today. And here's the thing, it's simpler than you probably think. Anyone can get big triceps. First, you have to understand why triceps are so important. Triceps make up 70% of the upper arm, which means that if you want, to convey size and strength with your arms, it's very important to work your triceps, as that will add the most bulk. Good biceps look great, but without the triceps, you're really gonna lack that actual size to your arms. Your biceps aren't going to swell your arms up so much that you fill out your shirt. That's what triceps are for. Now, there are 3 heads to the triceps, and it's important that we learn this because we don't want to leave any of these heads undeveloped, all right? So there is the long head, which runs from the shoulder to the back and the inside of the upper arm. There's the lateral head, which runs from the shoulder kind of along the side of the arm, right? That's the side of the tricep. And there's the medial head, and the medial head is actually underneath both of those. It's not visible, but it's closer to the bone, and it's there for strength and stability. The lateral head is responsible for most of the visibility of the tricep, the size, but we don't want to neglect any of these areas. I went for a long time neglecting the long head of the tricep. I got the lateral head down because that was for a lot of like push down movements and stuff like that. Works the lateral head, and that's great, but I was ignoring the long head for a really long time, and so the back of my triceps actually looked kind of small and undeveloped, right? And now I'm playing catch up, and I don't want that for you. So we're gonna make like kind of a program that covers all of your bases. Now, I could give you kind of like a basic routine where we kind of go over an assortment of random tricep exercises to work everything, and that would grow your triceps, right, at a standard rate. But we're gonna go over 3 points in this video that's actually going to go from take you from normal tricep gains to exploding your tricep gains, getting like abnormal tricep gains faster than everyone else. So pay attention. This is not just some traditional do push downs and, keep progressively overloading. It's not like that. There are very specific things in this video that will actually accelerate your tricep growth, like explode your tricep growth, okay? And these are not just standard pieces of advice. Number 1 is that you should pre-fatigue the muscle or pre-exhaust the muscle group. I used to do push downs as my main tricep exercise, as I kind of told you before, right? I would, on arm day or on push day, I would go over to the tricep push down machine. I would get that straight bar and I would just do push downs, and I would progressively overload that. Now I don't even do that as a main exercise anymore, okay? It's a nice exercise, but I don't use it as a main, a serious exercise anymore. The reason is because I use that for pre-exhaustion. Now, what is pre-exhaustion, okay? Pre-exhaustion is when you have a main lift for a workout, right? Let's say it's chest day. It's push day, and you're gonna do bench press, which is like your main workout. Before you do your main compound exercise, you find an isolation exercise that works the target muscle a little bit, and then you do lower weight but higher rep sets beforehand to activate the muscle. So if you were to do bench press on push day, before you do that, do 3 sets of 15 for low weight chest flies. Just get on the machine, the pec deck, and do a couple sets like that. It'll feel kind of easy, but you'll activate your chest, you'll engage the muscle first, pre-fatigue it a little bit. That way it's a bit harder when you go over to bench. Your performance will be worse, but the hypertrophy will be better. You'll really like burn the muscle so that at the end of the workout, you just have absolutely no gas in the tank. This is extremely crucial for literally every exercise, every muscle group. I recently found out about this and I've been implementing it in all of my exercises, literally every single day of exercise, all of my muscle groups. This is extremely valuable. If you do nothing else, implement this into your routine. What we're going to do in order to pre-exhaust the triceps is go to the push downs, but instead of treating it like a main exercise, grab the straight bar or whatever you like doing, right? And set it to a lower weight and do 15 reps and do that for 3 sets before your actual workout. And you can rest like a minute and a half, 2 minutes between sets, right? But really try and feel it in your triceps, because that activation is what makes this so valuable. And then when you go into your actual tricep workout, that tricep workout is going to be so much better. You're going to make like twice the gains on your triceps simply because of this one point. Remember how I said this is kind of unconventional stuff? Unconventional advice. This is not like some basic advice on how to grow your triceps. Whatever you think about this pre-exhaustion method, this pre-fatiguing method, I just want you to try it before you pass judgment on it. You know, I'll be like, oh, it's gonna add time to my workout. I don't have time to do all those extra sets. I don't have time to do that. That's not gonna do anything. Low weight, that's not gonna do anything. 15 reps, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, I know you have a lot of bullshit in your mind. You've got a lot of reasons as to why not to try it. Just try it and see how you feel afterwards. I promise you, you'll have such a better tricep workout. It'll be extremely hard on your main lift. Your triceps are not gonna be able to push as much. But if you can take that ego hit a little bit, you don't have an inflated ego. You like to just look at the number on the machine or on the compound lift, and you can really think about growth and hypertrophy, which is what we are aiming for here today. You will have such a better workout. You will understand why this is so valuable. So that's point number 1. Pre-exhaust the muscle, pre-exhaust the triceps before you do your actual work. Point number 2 is do spam weighted dips. Weighted dips are hands down the best tricep exercise in the entire world. All other tricep exercises combined are not as great as the weighted and body weight dips. I've been in the gym for like 4 years and change, right? And I only started doing body weight and weighted dips in the last like year of the gym because I procrastinated. I didn't like them. They looked scary and stuff like that. I made the most tricep gains in just that last year of lifting. And I worked really hard beforehand to try and like build up my triceps. But it was only when I got on weighted dips did I start making serious tricep gains, okay? I wish I could just go back in time, slap my younger self across the face and tell him to do weighted dips. It's the best tricep exercise in the entire world. Currently, I'm doing 3 sets of 10 reps on weighted dips, and I do however much weight I can. Previously, I was doing over a plate. I was doing like a plate and a 25 with the chain, the weighted belt. After I added pre-exhaustion to my routine, where I would pre-exhaust the triceps, that got bumped down to just a 25 on the belt. But do as much as you possibly can, okay? Now, most of you are probably not strong enough to do body weight dips yet. And that's okay, I understand. They're very, very difficult exercise to start at first, all right? But if that's the case, what you can do is, next to the dips machine, the dips thing, which is like, it's got 2 horizontal bars. It's normally underneath a pull-up bar. There's got a pull-up bar on top, and then they've got 2 horizontal bars, so you can do pull-ups or you can do dips, right? Next to that, they ordinarily have an assisted dips machine where you can flip up a pad, put your knees on it, and do assisted dips. So weight will like push up from beneath you, right? So that'll make it easier. Whatever weight you have to do assisted, just do it, right? And then progressively overload to doing 10 body weight dips as fast as you can. And then from there, try and get up to weighted dips as fast as you can. It sucks at first, but I promise you, after you start building that initial strength and stability in the tricep muscles, it'll feel better. you'll start to really love them, and the strength like goes up really fast. I think the hardest part is building that initial comfort to the exercise, like a lot of exercises, right? Building that initial comfort to the exercise is the hardest part, and then after that, your strength goes up really, really quick. In case you didn't know, there's two versions of the dip. There's the chest dip, and then there's the tricep dip. The only difference is the chest dip is slightly bent forward, and the tricep dip is like you try and stay upright, okay? For exploding your tricep strength, of course, we want to do the tricep dip. By the way, I explain all of this in my full program. That's the top link in the description. If you're interested in building an aesthetic physique and you're willing to invest in yourself and you're serious about this, then you should click that link and go read what's attached and watch the attached video, because that'll be very beneficial to you, and see if it seems like it's for you. And if it doesn't seem like it's for you today, then you can obviously just close the tab and come back and watch the rest of this video. So go do that right now. Point number 3 is, and I can guarantee that 90% of people are not going to implement this because they're too scared. Go until failure every single set. This is ideal for every single muscle group and exercise that you do. You don't have to do it on the pre-exhaustion exercises, which we talked about before. Those should be high volume and like 15 reps, but you don't have to go till failure, right? But on your serious lifts, if you really want to make gains, this is how you do it. There are some people that say that failure, the last couple reps where you almost fail, is where the most gains are made. These are like the serious people that know what they're talking about. That's where the most gains are made, in the last couple reps. You really exhaust yourself. Have you ever noticed how fitness influencers, right? When you watch their like YouTube videos and stuff of them, or like TikToks or whatever, of them exercising, have you ever noticed like how hard they appear to be pushing themselves? They'll be like doing their set. Normally like they'll be grunting and like breathing really heavy, or their face will be scrunched up and red and stuff like that. And they'll do their reps, and then at the very end, they push and push and push, and sometimes they get like one last rep, they go down, and then they normally get like a half rep up, and then the weight slams back down. Or sometimes they do little baby reps, right? Where they like kind of half push the weight until their muscles are completely exhausted. I was never kind of told this. No one ever talked about it really. But it's kind of obvious to me now that the reason is because they were always going until failure. Every single time they were trying to fail. It's probably more natural to those high-level fitness influencer guys, and so they kind of like don't talk about it. Like it's just kind of normal to them, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go until I can't anymore, and that's gonna lead to more hypertrophy and growth, because of course my body needs to adapt more if I force it to fail, right? That probably seems like common sense to them. But if it's never told to us, like to newbies, we don't know. But now that I've said it, it's kind of obvious, right? And you'll probably notice it when you watch other fitness influencers. You'll be like, oh yeah, he's going till failure every single time. I'm not doing that. So if we want to look like those high-level top fitness influencers, it only makes sense that we need to train like them too. So I know it's hard and I know it's scary, but you need to go until failure every single set. And here's how you do it, right? You're gonna have a target number of reps, okay? For me, it's normally 10. Grab a weight you know you can do your mark for, your target number of reps for, but probably not a couple over, probably not 3 over, right? So if I were to do this for a set of 10 reps, right, on, let's say, dips, I would attach a weight that I knew I could do 10 for, but probably not 14, okay? And then I'll perform the set, and then after I hit 10, I'll just go until failure and see how many more I can do. If I go over 14, that's okay, but I always have to go until absolute failure. And there's a difference, by the way, between normal failure, where you kind of drop the weight, and absolute failure. When I say absolute failure, that means you need to push the weight up millimeter by millimeter. Don't just drop it right away when your muscles start to feel like they can't get the rep. Keep pushing the weight up inch by inch, as slowly as it takes, until you get the weight up. Sometimes you'll get another rep out. Like you'll surprise yourself and you'll have one more in the tank that you didn't know was there. And you'll be like, oh shit, I just hit that. That extra rep. I didn't know I had that, right? A lot of my friends and my brother hit a lot of PRs this way. He just kept pushing, right? And if you can't get the weight up, if you literally can't move it, at least hold it and keep pushing, or doing whatever. Keep pushing the weight until you eventually can't even hold it anymore, right? So for dips, that would be like you do your target number of reps, and then you feel that you're on that failure rep, and then instead of just getting down, right? You hold and hold and hold and hold and hold, and finally hold at the bottom until your muscles just can't take it anymore. Your body just can't take it anymore, and it gives out, right? And you kind of fall down onto the ground. That is absolute failure. If you hit your target number of reps, that's great. If you went over your failure mark, which is like 14, right? If you went over that mark, that means you picked a weight that was too light and you need to go up in weight. If you didn't hit your target number of reps, if you got under 10, that means you did too much weight and you need to lower that until you can hit whatever your target is, whatever your mark is, right? 8, 10, 6, whatever it is. This is the hardest thing you will ever do in lifting, going until failure. It'll feel like in the beginning again, when you're first getting into it and everything feels like hell to work. It just feels horrible. That's what it feels like. But it's extremely satisfying and the results will pay off. You'll literally watch yourself make double the results as like everyone else around you. You'll make them twice as fast because you do this. You'll watch everyone get like left behind in the dust, and you'll watch your muscles like swell up. Your body will transform before your eyes faster than you can ever imagine if you really implement this and take this seriously. It's extremely difficult. It feels like hell, but it's absolutely worth it. If you got any value from this video, there's something you can do which is a win-win for both of us, which is to scroll down and click the subscribe button. I win because I get a new subscriber. You win because anytime I have a new insight, learn something new, try something new, I can make a video and directly give you value. Again, actionable step, click the top link in the description. That is my full program. You will benefit from just reading that and watching the attached video, seeing if it's for you. Regardless, have an amazing day. Bye.